when change is going on, oftentimes once we get the courage to start changing, we stop because it hurts, right? Or we stop because we get scared. Hey, everybody. I am Mel Morris, your tarot life planner, helping you connect within to plan for the life that you're meant for. So, how's your week been? I hope, there's been a lot of energy around. We're coming up on the full moon on Friday, and there's also eclipse happening at that full moon. So, there's a lot of energy. We're still in Scorpio season right now. And so I hope everyone's settling in okay and getting through all this transformational energy that's around us. I thought it was important today to talk about some of that energy and what can happen when change is going on. Oftentimes, once we get the courage to start changing, we stop because it hurts, right? Or we stop because we get scared. For the topic today, releasing tragic thoughts, these thoughts start to creep into our mind that question everything that you thought made sense when you started the change, right? Let me know if you've experienced this before or continuously, right? So when I pulled for this week, if you saw this week's spread, there was a sense definitely that energy is starting to clear out a bit, right? Things are starting to move a little bit more and better for us, but there are still these thoughts, right? And I'll pop up the card. I have to put it here because my other camera wants to be funky today. I don't think I can zoom that any, but so for our overall card, we pulled this Three of Swords. Now, swords is our energy around our thoughts, right? It's the things that we're thinking, the ways that we communicate. And so this is, exactly what I'm talking about, that this card traditionally represents thoughts of betrayal, right? You see those swords going through the hearts. So it often means that there's, some betrayal going on, or someone has hurt you in some kind of way. But for me, when I pulled this card in this position, again, together with the other cards, we also had, and I'll show the IG folks over here, the card, this Three of Swords, and I'll show you the other cards that were around it in just a second. But, when I pulled this card this week, along with everything else, I was much more focused on the light, right? If you can see that kind of light that's shining underneath, looks like these rays of sun, right? That's really what I was drawn to, especially since in the spread, if you watch the full weekly video, we saw the sun just before that in our love and relationship card, right? And for folks here, I can't really show it to you well because I don't have like zoom on this version of camera here, but there's this beautiful sun that was right next to it. And anytime the sun is next to a card, it lends its energy to that card. It lends not happy, right? Happy's too easy. It lends this like get up and go kind of positive energy to whatever else is happening. So given that the spread in general felt pretty good, for me, what I'm thinking, right, what really came through for me with this Three of Swords is that you're having thoughts of betrayal, right? As you're releasing all of these things that aren't working for you anymore, as you are thinking about what to do next, anytime that little voice creeps in and starts telling you like you can't do it, or are you crazy? What's happening? Why are you doing this? This Three of Swords is about our thoughts, which are just that, they're thoughts, right? They're not actual facts. They're not exactly what's happening. It's the thoughts that we're allowing to come in and out. And how many times, even in a day, do negative thoughts start to creep into your mind? Right? Again, not that they're real, not that they are sometimes even based in fact. Sometimes you're just making shit up, right? Especially when you're doubting yourself. Your mind starts creating these stories that don't need to be based in any reality or fact. And so this Three of Swords to me this week is about your mind telling you that there's betrayal, that there's tragedy, that the people around you are doing something shady. But I want you to think about where that's coming from, right? Now, I'm not saying that you don't maybe have people in your life who are being shady, right? I'm not suggesting that. What I'm saying is that what's important for you in this process, in this Scorpio season, and this time of releasing, this time of change and transformation, it's super important for you to think about, what are these thoughts really trying to tell me? Are these thoughts really about the people in my life and what they're doing? Or is this about me? Right? Is this about my fear of this change? Is this about my insecurities that I'm moving maybe in a new place where some of the people that I'm around, maybe they're not going to be able to come with me? Am I scared that I'm the one who's betraying the people that are around me by simply growing? Okay. So that's really what I want you to focus on this week as you think about where you're moving to next, as you think about what's happening in your life, who you want to be, how you want to show up, which is the point of all of this, right? It's to decide and move towards who you really want to be, how you really want to show up in the world. And it's going to take some work. And the more you work, the more you change, the more that change happens, the more that you transform, it's causing, psychologically what they call dissonance, right? Some disconnect between where you were and where you're going. And that can feel really uncomfortable if you're not prepared for it. And that discomfort is going to cause these ugly thoughts and is going to cause you to start making shit up that may not be true, right? Or it may not be around what you think it is, what your mind is telling you. If your mind is telling you that, oh, your partner must be doing something, let me investigate, right? Is that really about your partner? Is your partner done something that has caused that? Or is that your own insecurities creating these stories in your mind? Right. And so as we're going through these changes, as we have this, beautiful full moon that's happening in Taurus, right, on Friday, Taurus is all about stability. It's all about finding our place, finding comfort, finding more ease and slowing down. So as we're trying to move to that space within this full moon and we're building our energy towards that, we've got this eclipse that happens, right? And these eclipses that this lunar eclipse that's going to happen, that always brings this like extra dramatic energy to any particular situation, right? Whether it's a solar eclipse or lunar eclipse, the moon is all about our emotions and the internal stuff. So that's definitely, again, why this Three of Swords really wants you to think about, where are these thoughts coming from, right? And what am I ready to do once I figure out the source? If you take the time to step back and slow down and say, you know what, okay, this is really about me. These thoughts are BS, or these thoughts are, again, around my insecurities, my fears, so on and so forth. When you decide what that really is, you got to do something about it. You can't just let them linger in there. And kind of the first step is just acknowledging them, right? Acknowledging that I'm having these thoughts. I've step back. They're not real. And so I get to let it go. And this full moon, every full moon is about releasing, is about letting shit go that you don't need anymore, that no longer serves you. Right. So my suggestion to you, especially if this, Three of Swords is resonating with you, as you're releasing things, you have to make sure that you're releasing these tragic thoughts, these dramatic, everyone out is maybe out to get me, or I'm not good enough, or my change, excuse me, my change, my growth is harming other people. You have to let that go very intentionally. Journal about it, write on a piece of paper. I love to burn some shit up, put it on some paper, toss it in a fire. Thanks for trying to protect me, but I don't need your help, and keep it moving so that you can really move into wearing this transformation in the near future. Okay. Hope that helps. Thank you so much for waiting on the delay. My apologies again. I will let you know that next week, because I will be traveling up north to see my babies and my babies' babies. So I probably will not find a quiet place to do a live next week. And so we will be off next week, but continue to send your questions and concerns, any topics you'd like me to hit on. For the folks on Facebook, I am going to show this just to remind you all that if you have any questions at any point, not just this week, but at any point, you can, I'm sorry. So my friend Jocelyn is sending me messages in an app, and it keeps showing up on my phone, but she's telling me that she's listening. And so I just want you to know you're distracting me right now, Jocelyn, but I love you. And stay tuned, because Jocelyn and I, along with my good friends Ish and KJ, are going to be so amazing in this new year. We've got so many beautiful things coming up. Stay tuned for that. But I just want to remind you about 2-Minute Tarot. And this is where you can ask me a question, anything that's going on in your life that you just want to check in about. You can send me your question. I will pull one card for you, and I will send you a message about 2 minutes long with a quick answer. If you want to dive deeper into anything, there'll be plenty of places where you can just click and connect. If it's enough to just give you that nudge to move forward, amazing, right? So let me know how I can help. Have a spectacular Thanksgiving if you celebrate Thanksgiving. If you're spending time with your family, travel safe, stay safe. COVID is still real. We're going to get our boosters actually after this session. So everybody stay super magical, y'all. Thank you.